Here today talking to Andy from Line 6 about the new Firehawk effects and the new Amplify Effects 100 floorboard model, which you can control with the iPad. Totally awesome, totally rad, functional, useful, sounds amazing. Andy, how does it work?
Sure. So taking a look at Firehawk FX, basically what we did was we took the most requested features from a number of different Line 6 products. So we took kind of the robustness and the Pod HD amp modeling out of the HD500X, and then we added the ability to control all of that from an iOS or Android device. So it's probably the most accessible unit that we've created to date so far as being able to program easily. If you're at a gig and you need to reprogram, you can just have your iPad or your phone off to the side. So it's going to be a lot easier than connecting to a computer and doing a bunch of tweaking. As far as the sounds and what's going to change, it's everything that we had in the Amplify series. So all 78 of the Pod Farm amp models are going to be there, but we also added the 30 HD amp models from Pod HD, as well as doing the M series effects from the Pod HD. We also ported some of those over. Another really cool hardware thing that we added here, a lot of people were asking on the HD500X if we could color code all of the lights so we could see which effect they're using. So now you'll notice we got the kind of lifesaver look going on here. So these are all different colors. So down here's your presets, A through D, then these are red like normal. But for example here, that's going to be some sort of overdrive or compressor. That's also an overdrive. This is blue, so it's modulation. This is delay, so it's green, and so on. So everything's going to kind of conform to the classic Line 6 color coding. If you want to control this from your iOS device, if you want to control this from your iOS device or an Android device, all you need to do is Bluetooth sync together. You hit the add. We'll scratch that. So if you want to control it from your iOS or Android device, all you need to do is go sync it via Bluetooth, and then we're going to go into the editor. So I'm just going to go over here, go to editor, and now everything's on a swipe control. So it's kind of, looks like Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's really easy to change and move things around. And you'll notice, if you take a look at the amp models up here in the left corner, all of the HD amp models, all the new stuff is right at the top, which makes it really easy to figure out what's new. And everything below that is going to be the classic Pod Farm stuff. Some additions to the Firehawk that we did not have on the Amplify unit, we had the ability to control a Variax. That's going to be the very thing at the front here. So if you've got a Variax connected to it, you can choose from any of the couple dozen models of Variax we have, plus tuning. That's a really cool feature. So if you scroll down here, you're going to notice I can offset any string in half-step increments, and it's also going to tell me what the note value is. And so you can have 128 presets, and you can have a custom tuning for each one if you want it. Another hardware addition is the fact that we can assign any foot switch to any effect now. So for example, that stomp pedal right there, let's say I want that on foot switch 5, I just hit that, and now note, or if I want it on foot switch 5, I just hit foot switch 5, and now this effect, you'll notice up here, now that's going to be assigned to foot switch 5. Couldn't do that before.
Right, you can do it like any foot switch you
Anything you want, yeah.
That's really cool. I can see that being like very handy if you want to add. Depending if you're left-footed or right-footed, depending on the stage venue.
Exactly. Just how you like your stuff to be in order. Yep.
And I noticed that there is a foot switch 5 added to that. I think that's
exactly right, because on HD500X we had 4 foot switches and a looper.
The looper, yeah, right.
And that was something that the looper maybe wasn't as popular. More people were asking for an additional foot switch than they were for the looper.
Right.
So that's why we switched that over to foot switch 5. And then the final the final hardware thing that we changed. Go ahead. I'll just.
I like how also that the color code corresponds like the M13 or
exactly,
or the original stuff.
Yeah, the old DL4s and MM4s, DL4, and that was really cool. And I know that other brands have used color coding for years, but then they'll kind of fall away from it. And we've really stuck to our guns since like 1999, you know, and all delays are green. It's really easy for us. I kind of wish it was an industry standard for everybody, not saying that the industry needs to conform to what we do, but I just think it would be great if green was delayed no matter what product you use. I think that'd be awesome.
Cool. And then, you know, on the Wikipedia page, it'd be like, you know, Line 6 DL4 also ushered in an era of a standard for green coded delay pedals.
Yeah. So one other hardware thing that I just want to call out that you're not going to see on Amplify is the ability to have not only an effects loop, but you have a programmable effects loop. So if you have that classic, you know, TC overdrive or TC core, something we haven't modeled and you just can't live without it, you can actually assign that to the effect loop. And it's cool because you can actually do volume control, send and return on the effects loop.
And the mix as well.
And then the mix as well.
Very cool. And you can assign that to any foot switch too, right?
Exactly. So let's say I want that on foot switch 2, I would just hit foot switch 2, and now you'll notice.
Nice teal color too.
Exactly, because that's the universal color.
Because that's the universal color for effects loops. I knew that.
Yeah, exactly.
On all the back of my amps,
it's always teal.
Always teal.
Come on.
Teal washers.
Yeah. So it's just so all of the great functionality that you saw in Amplify, it takes that to the next level with the assignable foot switches, additional HD reverb models. You'll notice in the reverbs now I have a bunch of HD models as well, which I didn't have before. So it basically gives what a lot of HD players were asking for. Is like, give me more of this, like iOS control, foot color coding, but maybe I don't need this other stuff as much, you know.
Right.
So we really built it for them.
How in depth are the HD models on this? Are they exactly the same?
It's exactly the same.
So the bias and excursion and all of the cabinet parameters, the master and side controls.
It's
all those
absolutely the same. Yeah. So for example, you might want to come up.
Okay.
So for example, if we look at like a traditional here, I'll pull up let me find one that's the same across both. So for example, like let's say like a tread plate dual rectifier.
That's also on the Amplify.
Yep. That's the exact same thing that you see in Amplify, but this is the amount of control you get, which is normal amp controls, right?
Right.
But let's say I go to the HD amp model. So I go up here and I go to tread plate, and then I hit done. But now you'll notice the master, sag, hum, and bias. Yeah,
very cool.
So all of the controls that you're used to seeing on HD, you're going to be able to get here as well.
Very versatile. Right on.